Hello slot car fans. I have not yet given you guys a tour of the home track, a little rundown of what's going on here with this one. I currently have it set up in analog mode because I was playing around with it like that for the past couple of days and trying to run some smaller cars and stuff on it, as well as some analog cars. But it's a pretty neat setup here, and I just want to let you guys know what we got going on in case anybody else is interested in doing something like this. Now, you guys have seen my videos, you've seen from this end, but basically just wanted to show you it's sitting on the 4-foot by 8-foot standard piece of foam board that's on top of a table, and I had to cut it into 3 pieces to fit in my car. But it's basically just all reassembled on top of that table and just sitting on top of it. And then there's a 2-foot piece of wood that's just propped at the edge of the table and propped over here onto a box on the couch. And that's just a temporary thing just to give me that extra 2 feet that I wanted. But so basically we're looking at 10 feet by 2 feet here for this overall layout. 10 feet by 4 feet, excuse me. So it's just an extra couple of feet sliced off of your standard 4x8 sheet and added to it for the most part. And the way this has worked out, it started out as a figure 8, and I didn't use any programs or anything to make this, just started using the pieces that I had from a couple of sets and stick them together and see what I could come up with. But it started out with a figure 8 underneath that you guys have probably seen in some of the videos, hopefully, and then it got carousels or corkscrews added on top. So what's happening now is we start from over here, our starting line, and go underneath the underpass. Come around here and you're on the low line. And you're still on the low line here. Go underneath that little overpass and now you're up on top. You bring around here, cross over to the other side, and now you're on your way back down. This side brings you back down underneath and around here and across the finish line. So it's some pretty good use of space to be able to get well, I guess what I would consider a fairly long track, considering the area that it's taking up. One thing you'll notice, both of these corkscrews are not the same size. This one over here is slightly smaller than this one over here. This one actually has 2 straight sections, and this one only has 1, because with 2 straight sections it would have put us basically overlapping here at this point. I might get some short straights and be able to enlarge it just a bit still, which I think would be interesting. But that's where I am now, and I've got some more fencing materials that I've made too. I think I want to show you guys that as well. For folks that are trying to figure out how to do this fencing, here's your standard Carrera fence that everybody is familiar with, and your standard clips that hold them on. Well, the problem is, after a while, some of those clips break, but worse than that, these pieces here get knocked off and broke, especially the ends little by little, or they get busted in the middle, and then you end up with short pieces that don't go together very well. And a roll of that stuff was like $65. Now, I think it was 10 meters, so that's a pretty long piece, going to last you quite a while. But who the heck wants to spend $65? So I found some sign material that was being thrown away at Lowe's or Home Depot, one of those home improvement stores. It's not quite as thick as the stuff that the Carrera ones are made out of, but I was able to cut it. You basically use the Carrera piece as a template, and then cut this into strips, and it's working quite well. You know how when you trace something and then cut it out, the piece you cut out ends up being slightly bigger than your original? Well, that's actually helped here, since this material is slightly thinner than the original, and so it allows me to kind of bend it a little bit to fit it into those notches nice and tight, and it's working out pretty well. It's working out pretty well, and it was free. It was just some old sign material they were throwing in the trash. So keep your eyes open. You never know what kind of plasticky stuff you can find that you can substitute for these things, because like I said, $65 to buy that. Or you can buy it in a small roll with a couple of little clips, but you don't get much that way either, and that's not going to last you very long. So we got plans to possibly put another little loop on top or figure out another way to add another little level without blocking the view too much. We'll see how that works out, and maybe you'll see something like that in upcoming videos. But you're definitely going to see more of this track in upcoming videos. Alright, well thanks for watching. That's about enough for this, and hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll see you next time.